And so in less than 12 hours time, we are going to be getting our rerun of 1000 Year Blood War round 15, the Essence Summon. In this case, Aizen, Yuha, and also Gemrisai, despite them being, a year and a half old at this point, they are still some of the best characters in the game and still some of the more sought after characters. And at the same time, they are a special type of 1000 Year Blood War because technically, these were the last of 1000 Year Blood War manga characters. Now, they are going to be returning tomorrow, and with that, it does come with a free multi-summon, so that's actually really cool that they are bringing that back. Unfortunately, the last 2000 Year Blood War banners didn't have those free summons. This one does, luckily. So obviously do that multi tomorrow morning and you might get lucky. I know I have multiple times. You might get a banner character, Aizen, Yuha, or Gemrisai for free, and that's really cool. So if you are a new player, I will say right from the get-go, it's maybe worth just doing the 2 discounted steps, since as a new player, you should have plenty of free orbs to gather up, and you also want to just try and collect characters, not get the best characters. Of course, you also want to do that, but you mainly just want to grab any character you can get because they could be future bonus characters. They could help you and Senkamon, and that overall increases the amount of orbs you get in any given month. Unfortunately, though, if you're not a new player, and even then, if you are a new player, I would say definitely hold out on going super deep into this banner. I just don't think it's worth it. The banner fillers themselves are kind of horrendous, and it's very weird and disappointing in a way to see 2021 premium characters in this banner, while Sergeant himself is not a bad character and unironically is the best filler of this bunch. This banner is not it, especially given the fact that, again, as we stated, Yuha, Gemrisai, and Aizen are basically a year and a half old at this point. They are definitely at the age where, in my opinion, they should be fillers in new 1000 Year Blood War banners. And I understand why they haven't done it just yet. It's the same reason why round 14, despite being over, 3 years old at this point, it took them 3 years to become fillers finally. And it's because every single month we have to get a 1000 Year Blood War rerun. But because we weren't getting that many 1000 Year Blood War reruns, certain characters had to keep getting reruns instead of getting put as fillers. And round 15 is basically potentially the last of that, hopefully. We've gotten like 4000 Year Blood War banners in the last 3 or so months, 2 of them happening in the last 2 weeks, and we're gonna get more of those. So in my opinion, because of how many we had to get, and how many have to eventually get a rerun in like 3 or so months time, I do believe Aizen, Yuha, and Gemrisai are soon to become fillers in a potential eventual 1000 Year Blood War banner. And that's why I would say it's not really worth summoning on these characters anymore, despite them being still some of the best characters in the game. And if you do pull for them and you get them, they're good. Don't get me wrong, they're still great. Aizen, best Nat character in the game. Yuha, second best Brave Battle character. Your main team booster, and Gemrisai is still a massive powerhouse for the power attribute. I also do feel like, maybe they're used to just starting to be lessened to a certain extent. You can actually go without them. And especially so close to the end of year banner, right? Pulling on a 1000 Year Blood banner for characters that are over a year and a half old, despite still being good, on a banner with no pity, I wouldn't. I would say just you're better off spending your orbs on new 1000 Year Blood banners. Poll selection, end of year. But quickly breaking down the characters, right? Yuha, as already stated, is the second best Brave Battle character in the game. He does have a very hard counter, that being 1000 Year Blood War Yamamoto. But given how Yamamoto was designed, Yuha, if he is more duped investment, can even make a dent into Yamamoto's HP, sometimes even defeating himself. But Yuha is still an amazing character, counters the captain meta. The more allies or opponents that get defeated, the stronger this character gets. He has paralysis and also drain. If he inflicts that, it's pretty much a guaranteed KO for Yuha. And at the same time, most importantly, he is your team booster. So even though there are plenty of Yamamotos running around in Brave Battles and he is a hard counter to Yuha, you still want to get that boost off. Because if you can, then your team is getting 43% extra attack, focus, and also defense. At the same time, Yuha is one of those Brave Battle characters that sees more usage outside of Brave Battles. Since he does have Guard Break, you can use him if you want to in normal PvE content, but most importantly in Guild Quest content, where, again, he has a good damage output, Flurry +2, and he is also your team booster with the booster skill, so he's providing 43% extra attack, focus, and also defense. I would say Yuha is one of the first and one of the best examples of a Brave Battle character that isn't just locked in to Brave Battles. I know I've gotten a lot of use out of him, and again, it mainly comes to how good he is in Guild Quest. Yamamoto is a power hollow Quincy killer. Of course, has the best strong attack kit in the entire game, a beam into a distant tracking vortex SA2 into a full screen, really high damage output. Despite being a year and a half old, he has Frenzy +1. When he inflicts a stat element, which is weakening and also burn, he gets an 80% SP boost, and then you also do around 100% more damage to enemies afflicted with those stat elements. Compared to some of the newer characters released nowadays, his gameplay feels a tad bit dated, given his damage output, but still the damage output that he does have is quite serviceable in a lot of different content, especially Guild Quest, where he's been really good for that Quincy melee week, providing your team with the complete stats immunity, the tracking vortex. His soul bomb still hits ridiculously hard thanks to his weakened defense, bombardment, and SP boost. Those things are still valuable in Guild Quest, Quest, and he is my go-to for those 2 particular weeks. And because I have him max transcended, I can even use him in the range, Quincy, and Holo Guild Quests. Aizen is going to be your best Nash character in the banner, in the game even, and while that's only still the case because we don't get that many Nash characters, and there is an easy way to top this character, and I feel like they should eventually do it soon, but as it stands, Aizen has a really just great gameplay, especially if you do like the no attack damage gameplay, right? Here's a high damage output thanks to his Flurry +1. When he inflicts his Tasman, which is weakening, he gets an 80% attack boost, one of the few characters in the game to even have that particular skill. He has good survivability thanks to his barrier and also boost, which also works really well in guild quests, and he is still also the only gauge character that is an attack-based character, right? No attack damage. When you fill up the gauge, it not only reduces the cooldown for your strong attacks to potentially stack that boost SA2 without the need of recharge links, it also just gives you significantly more damage. While I'm not the biggest fan of the no attack damage game style and gameplay, he is still good. He is the best character, after all, for no attack damage characters. So yeah, the 3 banner characters still hold up. Although I think they are, to a certain extent, potentially replaceable. If we're being really nitpicky here, and just like meta-focused, Yuha, while he is obviously a great Brave Battle character, if you have Yamamoto, you can just deal with other Yuhas. And I've personally been able to sit in Lieutenant's League comfortably without even having Yuha or a team booster in my team. Yamamoto, for me, nowadays, realistically, I only use in Guild Quest content, and even then, they are slowly starting to introduce characters that just clear fast than him, even if he is 5 out of 5. The most recent Ichibe, for example, is going to be a better character for the Quincy Guild Quest week. And then Melee Holo, given the fact that he is a Melee Holo killer, I'm sure we're going to get a better character that can clear faster than him in the future. And then Aizen, you know, despite his biggest accolade being the best Nat character in the game, I just don't use Nat characters. I have him almost 5-5. I've never used him outside of basically like his first month. Sure, I used him in Guild Quest, but there's a lot of ranged Nat characters. You can kind of go by without any of these 3 characters nowadays, in my opinion. Of course, they're still great to have, but if you skip this banner, for example, I don't think it hurts your account that much. Eventually, how long that will be, we'll have to find out. Eventually, they will become fillers, and you will potentially be pulling for new 1,000-year Blood War characters alongside these in the same banner. At least one would hope. As for the other characters themselves, as we already stated, they're not that good. Iba is just a coin farmer. You don't even need him to farm coins. Kanami is a droplet farmer. You don't even need him to farm droplets. There are better droplet characters out there. Sergeant, unironically, is actually a good Guild Quest character. He gets more damage in Guild Quest, and he wants to be used in the Melee Holo Guild Quest. Unironically, one of the better characters in this banner, and there's really enough, not that many characters that replace what he actually does. So Sergeant's honestly not a bad character to get here. Senjumaru, again, more sort of collector's items. Same goes to Kiryu and also Tenjiro. They are eventually in line. They are the next banner, after all, to get resurrected for 1,000-year Blood War banners. But when that will happen, we'll have to find out. So yeah, overall, do the first 3 multi. If you're free to play and somewhat new to the game, maybe do the second. Even if you're a veteran, maybe do the second, right? It's never too bad to do discounts. While it is unfortunate that there are 3 premium characters in this banner, the filler pool is always bad for the most part, and at least you can get some usage out of Sergeant. But in my opinion, if you're thinking about going deep in this banner, only really do it if they are your favorite characters and you know what you're getting into. But at least for me, on all 3 of my accounts, despite one of them not having access to any of these 3 characters, I'll be skipping. I don't think these 3 characters are the must-have characters they used to be. They're great, but we are now in the season of just getting, you know, a lot of 1,000-year Blood War banners. Cooler ones too, in my opinion. And I'd rather pull for them, especially because now, not only do they have the pity ticket if I wanted to go super deep, they also just have better fillers. Again, while Noitora and Zapro aren't the best examples of that, this banner is just a significantly better banner to pull on over the upcoming round 15 rerun. At least in my opinion. But if you are for some reason still pulling on this banner, good luck. Hopefully you get what you want, right? In the comments below, let me know if you do plan to summon on this banner. I'll see you guys next time. Take care and peace.